This is Arana Nation live Canada Day. For the first time ever, we are live on YouTube. I've never done YouTube live before, but I felt since this is going to be a raffle, I might as well do it live so you guys can see what I'm doing. There's no funny business going on, but you guys still are able to donate. Go to the Arana Nation PayPal website. The link is right there. It's at the top of every recent video that I've made. Go there, or you can send an e-transfer to Michael Arana. That's MichaelArana 38 at yahoo.com. You can send e-transfer there, but you have to do it by 4 p.m. sharp. Otherwise, your name will not be entered. Now, before I continue, let me see. Hopefully this works. I hope I'm able to go on another page and check all the people who have donated so far. But I'm going to do that right now because we did get a lot of people. Hopefully you guys can still see me on YouTube. I have Facebook Live as well. So my Facebook audience is watching me as well as my YouTube audience. And without further ado, let me tell you all the people who have donated, whether it is on PayPal or e-transfer. Brian Adams donated on June the 29th. So Brian Adams, that's one name that will go into the raffle there. The next person was Bradley Whitcomb. I hope I pronounced that properly, Bradley. And then John McGibbon. John, I know that name very, very well. You've been a fan for quite a while, John. Martha Schmidt, Martha. And then let's see who else. Oh, Joanna, one of my newer subscribers out there in Europe. You dated actually twice, but your name still goes in there once. So maybe that would be a good idea. People who donate more than once put their maybe next time I'll do that. Johanna Maria Osarek. Then we got, I guess, Cheap Ass Games. He donated on June 21st. Ali Hassan. Ali, you donated on June 19th. So your name will be entered as well, Ali. Connor Bem, I hope I pronounced the name properly. Connor, your name. And this is just PayPal people right now. Gloria Johnston. Gloria Johnston. One of my newer subscribers, I believe. If you're not, then please let me know. Philip McGaw. Philip McGaw. Steve LaCroix. Is it LaCroix? It's a French name, LaCroix. That's a beautiful. I know you though, Steve. I know you. You've been a fan for a while. I know you. You're the one who called me the conservative, and I said I'm an independent. But you know what? Nevertheless, I still love you, man. Your name is definitely going to be entered. Let's see who else. Vera Mack, obviously. Vera Mack. Vera. Elizabeth Stafford. And I'm going to put all these names in the bucket right here. I have the bucket right here with me. Deolinda Staffhorst, Richard Langdon, Chantel Frobel, Raghav Chopra, Benita Ryan, Anonymous. I don't know who the Anonymous was, so how can I put your name in there if I don't know? Brian Ferry, and of course, Rio Aiello. So all of you guys are going to be entered in this raffle. So let me just write down all of your guys' names right now. But tell me, how are you guys in the YouTube world? How are you guys spending the Canada Day? And if you're not in Canada, then what are you up to? You know, I know for my Americans out there, 4th of July is coming up. So what are your guys' plan for 4th of July? Right now, I'm actually here in the U.S. This is actually my second Canada Day not in Canada, which is strange. But when I have days off, I usually like to see my parents. So it's fine, I guess. I usually like to see my parents, and they're in Western New York, so that's why I usually come here. But I am going to be up in Niagara Falls, Canada, on the 3rd to see my girlfriend. That's where she is. I'm sure she's watching on Facebook right now. I love you, babe. And I saw that you texted me. I'm in the middle of doing a live show right now, so I can't really respond right now if you are watching, but I will definitely respond once I am finished. But we can just talk about some stuff until all of this until 4 p.m. comes. So all of the names have been added. So until 4 p.m. comes, we can just talk. One thing that I noticed, and I can go back to hopefully you guys on YouTube. Yeah, one thing that I noticed, and I'm sure you guys watched that video that I put up about what happened at Ford Nation, or not Ford Nation, Ford Fest. And for those of you on YouTube who didn't watch, let me just explain to you what happened at Ford Fest. So as we were entering, and this was in Markham, it was a few days ago, a friend of mine, Kit, and I'm sure Kit's probably watching if he's not at work, he had a Faith Goldie shirt on. He had a Faith Goldie shirt. And, you know, nothing wrong. In fact, he's Asian Canadian. So, I mean, for anyone to call him a white supremacist would be ridiculous. But some security people or volunteers or whatever of the PC party, they what they did was they stopped him and they told him he needs to take that shirt off. They tell him to take the shirt. Now, this is supposed to be, you know, conservatives, they're supposed to be for free speech. I'm an independent, but that's what I've been told. Conservatives mean free speech. They tell him to take the shirt off. He asks why. First of all, there's nowhere for him to take this shirt off. I mean, where is he going to take it off? In public, there's kids, there's women. I mean, there's all sorts of things. And he's like, why? And they completely ignore him. They act very arrogant. You know, it's a power trip going on, everything. And so as we enter the entrance, as we go to the entrance of the event, we get pulled aside by some, I guess one of my subscribers called him a Kathleen Wynne, a male version of Kathleen Wynne. He did kind of look like Kathleen Wynne, actually. And he's saying, you guys need to stop here for a second, wait here, blah, 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 blah. And again, we ask why. I mean, first, some other person tells us to take off a shirt in public, take it off and put on some other shirt. And it was a great shirt that he told us to put on. It was a Ford Fest shirt. But the thing is that, you know, it's about our freedom here. And then when another friend of mine, Brian, starts getting really upset, what happens is that some, I don't know, mediator comes along and says, oh, you know, well, we have to make sure that the media doesn't see you guys with a Faith shirt in our Ford Fest because, you know, all the media is, they'll attack us for everything. They'll attack us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying to myself, when do you guys submit and appease the media? Do you think the media is going to thank you for preventing any Faith Goldie people or Trump people or whatever people from entering Ford Fest? I mean, are they going to thank you? You know, probably all of those people who are there support Faith and Trump and all those people. But they want to appease the media. So what I said was that, you know what? We'll comply. But here's what's going to happen. I've been filming, and he actually told me to stop filming when he saw that I was filming. And I stopped, but we had enough evidence for you guys to see on YouTube of what happened and the confrontation that went down. So I said, we'll comply. And we smiled. We pretended like nothing happened. But what we did was we put it up there. Now, what I've been doing and what you guys have noticed is that I've been calling for Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, to do an interview with Arana Nation. You guys have the number. I posted the number in one of my videos. Call him, because this is unacceptable here. You know? So, and not only that, I want to give him a fair interview. I believe that he's been trashed by the media to a point where now the party is afraid of the media. But I think it goes even deeper than that. I think those people may even not have Doug Ford's interest at heart. So I think it's time that he allows for an interview, which will give him a fair shake and all this. So let's see what you guys are saying here in the comments section. I see one person, Peter Goodman, who's been a pest for years and years now. Peter, you are a pest. You know that? You are a pest. You are just a pest. Stop using fossil fuels. And this is Peter Goodman. He claims that he lives in Cuba. He claims he lives in Cuba. He doesn't live in Cuba. You know, he claims he does, but he's been a pest for years now. And I block him, and he keeps making new YouTube channels just to pester us. But he's a pest. So here's my thing on fossil fuels. If you want to talk about fossil fuels, let's talk about fossil fuels. He's always talking about communism and everything. He's a joke. Peter is a joke. You guys, I would just ignore him, because that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about who's going to win an iPhone 5C at 4 p.m. sharp. It's 3:38 now, and we're just kind of killing time. But let's talk about fossil fuels then, if you want to talk about it. So first of all, you guys know that I do support cleaning up our environment, obviously. And I support replacing items which would be harmful for the environment with things like, as Lisa Jean Williams says, you know, hemp. Talk about hemp, best fuel ever. I agree with her. I agree. You know, I agree with hempcrete. It's, you know, replace concrete, which is very tough on the environment, with hempcrete. And that would actually be beneficial. People could actually make money off of it. What people can do is plant hemp plants and all this sort of stuff, sell it for a profit. Instead of banning plastic, you can, you know, use the plastic and sell it, and you can make profits of it. You can make money off of recycling. I think that's a great idea, instead of carbon taxes and plastic bans, which would actually be worse for the environment. I see my girlfriend Caitlin is watching on Facebook. Hey, babe, I saw your text. I will reply back. I am in the middle of this live video right now, but I promise I saw it. I will message you back, babe. Weed is a dangerous drug, says Peter Goodman. Peter Goodman, the communist. You don't know anything. You know, if weed is such a dangerous drug, then why isn't alcohol banned? I mean, I used to be against the legalization of weed and all that stuff, but you know what? Alcohol has no health benefits whatsoever. None. Absolutely none. The drinking type, not the cleaning your skin type. Weed has a lot of health benefits. A lot. Now, everything is bad when it's not done in moderation. But I would say that society has it backwards, especially here in the States. I mean, in the States, here in New York, you can still go to jail for weed. I mean, it's not as tough as as maybe Texas, but the thing is that I think if we're gonna ban something, might as well ban alcohol instead of weed. But I don't think we should be banning any of them. But let's get back to the fossil fuels. You know, fossil fuels, they're dying out. Okay, there's 50 years from now, you're not going to be driving cars with gas in them. It's just not going to happen. But I don't believe that we should be banning. I believe that we should replace, you know what I mean? Replace, whether it's with electric cars or with biofuel cars, ethanol cars, whatever cars, all that stuff. You know, tell these car companies, that's what you build. This is what we want you to build. Gas companies, replace these gas stations with, ethanol stations or whatever stations. have electric towers there so the cars can be uh, put up there. And then the fossil fuels, they'll end up, correcting themselves. Either they will have a new use for their material, and there's a lot of uses when it comes to oil sands and all that stuff. It's used to make a lot of things, or they'll just go out of business on their voluntarily because they won't be in need anymore. Okay, and I see here hashtag Maxime Bernier 2019. Okay, I've been waiting for an excuse to talk about this. This is what I'm calling for in the Canadian election that's going to be happening this year. This is what I'm endorsing. I'm endorsing a minority government. I think all the candidates, Scheer, Justin Lataki and Macdaddy Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, Elizabeth May, Maxime Bernier, all of them, all of the main candidates, they're all a load of crap. Every single one of them are a load of crap. If it were up to me, Steve Garvey would be the next Prime Minister of Canada, okay? Of the NCA, but that will never happen. So I'm calling for a minority conservative government propped up by the PPC and, God willing, a few NCA members. That way they can correct themselves. No one party has all the power. That's what I'm looking for. And I think that's probably what's going to happen if, and I do mean if, the Mac Daddy is defeated, because I do have my worries that he will be reelected. But here's why I don't support any of the major candidates. You all know I don't support Justin Lataki and Macdaddy Trudeau. I'll never support him. I've been attacking him since even before he became Prime Minister. But Andrew Scheer, let's start with him. It's funny, when I attack Bernier, the Bernier people say, I'm for Scheer, you're a Scheery, you're a Scheery, you're a Scheeria, And when I attack Scheer, they say I'm a Bernier person. I'm not for any of you, those fools. First of all, Scheer, I knew he was not gonna be successful from the beginning. When all of you people out there were saying that we don't want another Quebecer out there, my Maxime Bernier, he's a Quebecer, this and that, I was telling you Scheer is no better, but I don't know what was in people's mind that Scheer was gonna be so great. Was it because he's from the West? Is it because he's an English Canadian? I don't know what it was. But he's very weak. He doesn't know how to fight. He reminds me of John Kerry back in 2004. John Kerry and Stephen Harper in 2015. Both those people could have won those elections. Harper could have won in 2015. I've lost all respect for him. He could have won that election, but because of his weak, polite, politically correct, he was shushing people in the crowd who wanted to challenge the media, all this sort of stuff. And he lost. He lost because he was too weak. And Scheer is the same way. And on top of that, Scheer has done a very good job of appeasing the media, just like all the other mainstream conservatives do, appeasing many leftist groups, which would never thank him in any way for appeasing them, trying to appease the Muslim crowd and all this sort of stuff. And I'm not saying that we have to keep going after Muslims and all this stuff. I think the biggest problem is the Zionist problem and the Saudi oils. People, I don't know where this whole thing that the average Muslim is going to be our downfall. The downfall is these Saudi oil individuals and the Zionists. But that's a story for a different time. Now for Maxime Bernier. Now it's his turn. And you Bernier people, you guys are so thin-skinned. I don't know. It's like you can't even say I'm next to a road, guys, by the way. So in case you guys hear a lot of motorcycles going by, I'm next to a very busy road. But Maxime Bernier, he is, what's this guy say? Would I screw Tulsi Gabbard? I'm not even going to answer that question. I don't even know what the hell. But I don't even know what Tulsi Gabbard looks like. Maybe, I don't know. But oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, dang. Sorry, Caitlin. I don't know what Tulsi Gabbard looks like. She's running to be president of the United States or something. I don't know. But let's talk about Maxime Bernier now. Maxime is a fraud. He's a damn fraud. I'll say it again. He's a fraud. He is an economic globalist wrapped up in nationalistic clothing. And I'll tell you, first of all, Maxime has, throughout his career, has supported many globalistic things when he was in the cabinet of Stephen Harper and all that stuff. His father was an ambassador to the UN. Now, people say, well, that's his father. But the fruit didn't fall too far from the tree. Number one, he has supported many globalist initiatives in the past. And number two, which is even more important, guys, is that he wants to get rid of the protections in our dairy industry. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, you know, the dairy cartel and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you about supply management. First of all, I never said that I supported it fully. I don't think that it should continue the way it is without changes. I do think that there do need to be changes in supply management. But I don't think it should be completely destroyed. The last thing Canada needs is more globalism. That's the last thing Canada needs. Getting rid of supply management would mean opening up the dairy industry to the Yanks, the Europeans, and even the Chinese and others. And just like our manufacturing industry, just like the rest of our farming industry, our energy industry, we'll have the dairy industry completely ruined because of globalism. Now, I'm not an anti-free trader, you guys. But the thing about it is that when we're doing free trade, we have to hold a very tough bargain, okay? We have to make sure that it is just, these businesses, they pay just as much money moving to another country than they would in our country. That's exactly it. That's how it has to be done. So as long as it's cheaper to do business in a country that we're supposed to be trading with, I don't want to trade with that nation unless they create their economy in such a way where it would be just the same price to do business in their country as in our country. And I want to make sure that we don't shortchange our workers, our great Canadian workers. We don't want to shortchange them just for a quick buck. That's one of the bad habits of English Canada. And I see a comment here from Paul Hogan. Canada needs to radically assert its culture, to be honest. Well, I don't know about that. That sounds like a neocon statement. But we need to protect our culture at the very least. We have to protect our workers. We have to protect our people. We have to protect our economy at all costs. We can't just say we're going to sacrifice this or that or the other all for a quick buck. That's craziness. So let's see. I see some comments here about Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Thoughts, as I've called her. And yeah, Stan, it is a bit, you know, these days it looks like it is illegal to be proud of your country. It sounds like it. But let's talk about Meghan. Because if you guys have noticed, if you guys have been following me, you'll know that I've had a lot of, let's see what time it is, first of all. It's almost 4 o'clock, so it's almost time for this raffle. So I'll tear up the names and I'll put them in the bucket. And we'll see who wins. But we can talk about Meghan in the last 10 minutes here. Meghan Markle. I've gotten a lot of fans from all over the world who've liked what I had to say in bashing the Duchess of Thoughts. And they've said that you are right on with who she is and what she is. And I appreciate that. Now, let me just say something quickly. A lot of people were messaging me when I made that video about her missing the banquet with Donald Trump, but then going to Trooping of the Color. And they were saying, Well, the trooping of the color is a family affair. It's the queen's birthday, so she had to go, whether she was on maternal leave or not. And my response was, well, then where was the Duke of Edinburgh? Where was Prince Philip? He's been retired for 2 years now, and he wasn't there. I thought they were all supposed to be there celebrating the Queen's birthday, but he wasn't there. Now you have one dude who is retired, and you hardly ever see him now, and a woman, the Duchess of Scots, Meghan, who is supposed to be on maternity leave, and manages to show up the trooping of the color. And I said that it's clear that she doesn't like Donald Trump. It's clear as day. But she'll never miss an opportunity to show off herself, to show herself in the limelight. And people were saying, no, that's not the reason. It's because she's on maternity leave. That's a load of BS. Because if trooping of the color is a family affair, then the very least you would have seen the Duke of Edinburgh there. 100%. But he wasn't there, was he? No. So don't let anybody tell you that Meghan Markle went to Trooping of the Color because she had to go there. She didn't have to go anywhere. Peter Goodman says vote Ocasio-Cortez in 2020. Yeah, right. I will say this about Ocasio-Cortez, though. Hang on a second. Okay. I will say this about Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders. Despite them being so crazy, they do believe in what they say. They're not fake in what they believe. I will say that. I will give them that. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and those kind of people, they're fake. 100% fake. They go with the wind. They go with the wind. And Hillary Clinton especially goes with the wind. I mean, many years ago, she was against gay marriage. She thought that she called, minority super predators, and she was a Goldwater girl back in her years. And then all of a sudden, she's some uber liberal. I don't like people like that. Not one bit. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention the people who donated through e-transfer. I forgot. Oh my God, don't make me forget them. They're just as important. Hang on a second, guys. Hang on. The people who donated on e-transfer. Let me just load that up here, because they're just as important. Man, it's hot out. I wanted to do this outside because, it's Canada Day and, everybody's outside. But boy, oh boy, Lord from Zion, it's hot. Okay. So, let's see who donated through e-transfer. The people were, okay, there's a lot of people who donated from e-transfer. A lot. So, Philip. Oh no. Hang on. That was my PayPal thing. Okay. So we have no, it's not this. Where is it? Oh, Shazad Bacchus. He's one who donated recently through e-transfer. And James Jacobus. He also donated through e-transfer. I'm just looking to see anyone else did e-transfer. I think those were the only two. Yeah, those were the only two who donated through e-transfer. So I'll make sure to put their name as well in this raffle here. So yeah, what was I saying now? So back to my thing about how these guys are so fake. Yeah, Joe Biden is fake. Hillary Clinton is fake. Barack Obama, to a certain extent, is fake. But at least Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders, at least those kind of people, hey, they're crazy, but they believe in what they believe in. So at least you know what you're getting with them. You don't know what you're getting with Joe Biden. You don't know what you're going to be getting with Hillary Clinton. If Hillary Clinton was president, God knows he'd probably be in World War III by now. She would have probably attacked Iran. And you all know my position on this Iran thing. I'm a very non-interventionist person. I believe that America should, or any country really, should only go to war when it's absolutely necessary, when literally they're being attacked, when they are being attacked, when their people are being attacked, or if their people are being threatened, or if their country's being threatened. You know, this whole thing about going to war to spread freedom and democracy, that's a joke. You went to Libya to go spread freedom and democracy, and now they have slavery. You went to Iraq to go spread freedom and democracy, and Iraq is a mess. You tried to do it in Syria, and Syria, thank God they fought back with the help of Russia. And now your next target is Iran, and it looks like they themselves are fighting back. So yeah, I'm not for this whole going to go spread freedom and everything like that. That's a big load of crap. Now, I know a lot of people may not support that, but that's just... The facts are on my side, guys. The facts are on my side, and they're usually almost always on my side. And that's just it. Maybe Peter Goodman would agree with me on that. Do you agree with me, Peter? Peter, who claims to be in Cuba. Peter, do you agree with me that America and all other countries should only go to war if they are attacked or threatened? Tell me, Peter Goodman, who claims to be in Cuba. A name like Peter Goodman, you ain't in Cuba. There you go. So at least for once, Peter is making some sense. Peter, where do you really live? Tell me. Peter, where do you live? I want to know where you... Don't say Cuba. You're not in Cuba. You ain't in no Cuba with that name, Peter Goodman. You're not in Cuba. Tell me, where do you live? Honest, tell me. He says Cuba. He says Cuba. You ain't in Cuba, buddy. I'm telling you, you're not in Cuba. Tell me where you live. Where are you in? Are you in New Brunswick? Are you in Ontario? Where do you live? You should like a Nina Bird, Peter spouting all the BS leftist propaganda points. Now he's saying he lives in Zimbabwe. I could actually believe that because there are a lot of white folk in Zimbabwe from the colonialist era. There are a lot of... Paul says that Peter's somewhere in PEI. I don't know. I would believe the fact that he was in Zimbabwe because there are a lot of white folk in Zimbabwe with names like Goodman and that stuff. They're from the British colonial era, you know, so that would make sense. Peter, what do you think of Mugabe? What do you think of Robert Mugabe since you're in Zimbabwe, huh? What do you think of ZANU-PF? Tell me. Okay, so yeah. I'm just checking to see if anyone made any last-minute donations because it's now 4 o'clock and we are no longer... well, you can no longer be in this raffle now. So it is officially 4 o'clock, which means that the raffle is officially done. And James Jacobus is the last name that will be entered in this bucket. And I'm about to see who will win the iPhone 5C. So there we go, guys. The last name has been entered into the raffle. And now I will start it soon. But okay, so Peter says that Mugabe's a true leader. Okay, Peter, ever since Mugabe was in power, and he's gone now, the Zimbabwe dollar has pretty much been turned to nothing. It's perfectly normal to see thousands and thousands of Zimbabwe dollars lying on the floor, lying on the ground in Zimbabwe, and nobody picks it up. It's worth less than toilet paper. That's what Mugabe has done with the economy. More Zimbabwe used to be the breadbasket of Africa. Now they have to export food, and there's all sorts of things like that. So I know you're just this just shows how much of a fool you are. Marco says, "Yeah, White's getting cut to pieces with machetes." Now, and I'm going to do the raffle soon. I'm just going to quickly make my comments on that issue. Yes, it is very terrible that there's a lot of things happening to white folks in Southern Africa. It's very terrible. It's a shame, actually. The only thing I would say is the same people who are very, very concerned about what's happening in Southern Africa to whites. I just only hope that they have that same concern, or I should say had that same concern when it was the African folks who were being had their rights taken away during those ages of apartheid and all that type of stuff. And not only even apartheid, but I mean, even in South Sudan, look what happened in South Sudan. You have this very awful leader who's just been removed. The military is taking over, and it's a mess. Peter Goodman says, "I hate crackers." Okay, I'll show that. So yeah, Peter's a joke. I'll block him very soon. But I think what the world needs is for a lot less hatred against people based on, race or religion or all that other stuff. Whether it's whites in South Africa, blacks during apartheid, blacks in South Sudan, Palestinians and Jews killing each other, it's got to stop. I mean, it's really tiresome. But without further ado, guys, let us see who will win this raffle. So I'm going to put down you guys on Facebook, okay? I'm going to put you guys down right here because I was using the bucket to hold you guys up. So here's the bucket here. In this bucket, there's many names within this bucket. And whichever name I pull out will win an iPhone 5. Will win an iPhone 5C. Don't worry. Every name is still in the bucket. Every name. And the winner of the iPhone 5C will be, hang on. Richard Langdon. Richard Langdon, I don't know if you're watching right now, but your name won. Richard Langdon, okay? Richard Langdon. I'm going to see if I have your information already here. But if you are watching, Richard Langdon, you need to send me an email immediately with all of your mailing information and all of that stuff. It's very, very important that you do that. I think I may have it on here. I won't say it if I do. But let me check. Let me check if I have Richard's info up here. And if I don't, then you're going to have to email me, Richard, because if you don't, then you forfeit and it will be some other name that gets taken out. I think I have it here. Let me check on PayPal. Richard Langdon. Because that you're going to be getting that iPhone 5C through mail. And whichever name or address I see here, if I don't hear back from you, that's where it's going to be sent to. So if the address here is incorrect, I'm not going to say it, but if it's incorrect, then you're going to have to let me know. And it looks like I do have his, okay, it looks like his shipping address is here. He's somewhere in Ontario. I won't say the name, but Richard, unless you send me an email to michaelarana38@yahoo.com telling me where I can send this iPhone 5C, then unless you give me a different address, then I'm going to send it to that address that I see there in Ontario, in a very beautiful town. I won't say the town, but it is somewhat close to where I live, somewhere in southern Ontario. That's all I'm going to say. So that is the raffle. And don't worry, there's going to be other opportunities for this, much more organized as well. This is the first time I've ever done this. So does anybody know who Richard Langdon is anyway? I mean, send him a message if you do know. But I'm gonna go get that iPhone right now. I'll be right back. I'm still gonna be live. You guys sit tight. I will be right back. Told you I'd be back. All right. So I don't know what's happening with my phone here. It says I need to cool this thing down before I can use it. All right. So my phone, not the iPhone 5C. This is it. This is it right here. And it says that Arana needs a 5C himself. I had a 5C, now I have an 8, okay? So I don't need a 5C, I've got an 8. But this is what's going to be sent to Richard Langdon. As soon as possible, this is what he will be getting. iPhone 5C. Now, it doesn't have a lot of space, but it's very good for, it's very good for, if you have children or grandchildren or somebody who's just entering that stage in their life where they need a phone, it's perfect for them. But this is what you're going to be getting. It's going to be your responsibility. It works very well. And I'm also going to be sending you the charger for it as well. So you get the charger and the iPhone 5C. Oh, it looks like a huge case. It does kind of look like the huge case, actually. But it's here. It's great. Camera. You can get music on it, all that sort of stuff. You guys, this is actually pretty fun. I actually like doing live because then it gives me a chance when people send messages, I can respond to them. I can, if you guys give me a subject, I can talk about it. And Peter's talking about Jag Meat 2019. So let me tell you quickly about Jag Meat before I end this. Jag Meat is nothing but Justin the Techie and Mac Daddy Trudeau's insurance policy. And what happens is that if the Mac Daddy somehow wins a minority, or if a minority government is declared, then he'll try and get Jag Meat to form a coalition government with him. So that's the thing. Jagmeet and Justin, the NDP is no different than the Liberals whatsoever. I actually respect Jagmeet Singh, actually. I don't have any problem with him. But the NDP are, they're just like the Liberals. I mean, I do have a problem with the Mac Daddy, Justin Trudeau. I do have a problem with him. But Peter Goodman, who says that he hates crackers, I mean, if you hate crackers, I mean, electing Jagmeet Singh, you're gonna have a cracker running that boy. I mean, he is Justin Trudeau's insurance policy. That is his property right there. He is there just to make sure if, you know, he gets a minority, he knows that he can fall back on Jagmeet, and Jagmeet will fully oblige. There's no difference between them. Give me a break. I'm gonna end this live stream right now, and I'll be making more videos. You guys stay in touch. This is the Arana Nation.